So
it's called this thing called the internet. This guy in 1995.
A guy in 1995? I think the internet was around like in the 80s by the military.
But it wasn't a... Yeah.
Let's just start spitting straight facts that aren't true. Like the internet was in the 80s.
It's weird. The internet came out around 2008.
Wait, did we start?
Yeah, we're on.
Bro, don't worry about it.
Dan,
2008.
Just let it flow, bro.
All right,
We've always been on. You've been on your whole life, bro.
Wow.
Can you turn off the text from your girlfriend? I see what's going on.
Listen,
Yeah.
okay?
We want to
It's
know.
not my fault that she likes to
Tell
communicate
her
with me.
to keep doing her high kicks and leave us alone.
High kicks.
Isn't that what they do?
Dan,
I think so.
why? Like how? No, it makes no sense. There
How's a
must
guy
be-
like you?
Yes, I don't know how to
like
phrase
that.
it. So Dan, let's just say you have your
Let's just say I'm gifted.
Your talent is that of AAA,
is a person,
and you're dating a major leaguer.
Yeah, your key
Buddy.
right here is personality. You got a
Yeah.
strong personality.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. It's your strong personality.
Strong personality, man.
So who are you dating?
Yeah,
Just
how
so
do
they
you
know.
how do you grab a date? Look, Dan, I've known you for a while. You've gone.
Mikey has been like my hitch for the longest time.
Look,
He's like your
you've
older
known
brother
some.
in
You've
ways.
known some.
Yeah.
You've had some girlfriends here and there, but nothing too crazy. One little serious, whatever. Now you're an adult. You're out of college.
Yep.
You finally 7 years later, you're out of college.
Yes.
7 years.
How long
later.
did it take, dude?
He started in
It took me
1998.
6 years. Thank you.
That's
very
Oh, six.
much.
Well, I saw it a year away.
That's not that bad.
Sadly,
it's not. I'm just joking, man.
Sadly, I bet you that's average in America.
No,
right
I'm
now.
just joking with you.
Average is
You know.
5 now.
Oh, is it?
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So you're an adult. You're running a couple jobs. You're hustling.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be busy making money like an adult, and somehow you got the best girlfriend you've ever had.
Yeah, like you.
So
this is as good as it gets.
How do
Like-
you how do you meet a girl in the world, and then how do you pick up a girl? Teach our viewers
Because she's
and our
genuinely
listeners.
attractive, seems genuinely sweet.
Show
like,
a picture here.
yeah, there you go.
It's audio.
It's audio.
Oh, it's only audio. I saw video.
Hey,
Right
private
Hey, you guys
collection.
just think however you want.
Just imagine
he's
a
dating
very
Gwyneth
attractive,
Paltrow, yeah.
Sacramento Kings
Paltrow.
cheerleader, right?
Dancer.
Right.
She doesn't
dancer.
like cheerleader.
Oh,
If you hear cheerleader,
she'll
get
flip?
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's-
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
changed
it's
lately.
flip
I don't know why,
tires.
because they used to be cheerleaders.
Okay,
True.
a dance is classier. I get it. So Dan,
Yeah.
tell the story, like, because we're not that we're in disbelief at all.
Tell
Dan,
us
but
if you were to teach someone the process.
you would teach someone out there, like, hey,
You know, like,
I wanna land a 10.
Big
What's
Daddy
going on?
Funk here.
Daddy Funk.
You know, we're most a lot of
My
the,
man.
Hey now. It's trademark. I can't say that. So of course I was at work, and
Okay.
I see
Where do you
this-
work? You're a bouncer?
I work
Yeah.
at this place called.
Yeah, you
Bar
run
Web.
some security at a couple bars around
yeah,
here.
you
Yeah.
choked a few people out in your
Cooked
time.
a couple of few. I'm getting hot. This
Are we making you hot?
Humans are
getting
making me
nervous.
hot.
All right, so you're running security at.
So I was running security, and this girl, Ariana, bleep that name out because I don't want you creeps.
Yeah.
Dude,
going on
we're not
you creeps
bleeping
are going to
shit
go on
out.
Instagram
We don't,
at.
we don't know how to do that. You
Oh my
should've
God,
said,
Ariana.
You said this girl. We'll just call her like
So this girl-
Barbara. Use an alias. Don't
He's
use her
dating a
name.
70-year-old white lady.
Crazy.
Have you ever met a woman named Barbara?
Yeah, she's
Walters.
my librarian. She's great.
God.
Very flexible. Go on.
So I'm at the bar, and
Barbara comes in for a
Barbara,
drink.
let's Barbara.
Barbara. You already said the name, bro.
She, recently single, and
Did you know her?
So I knew her because she dated one of the bar backs at my bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Starting to get
little-
incestual.
She goes more for personality, I can see. So she's not like who's got the money. I respect that.
And she had ended up coming over to one of our pool parties that we have, and she came over. And,
That we have. He makes it like a
I'm
regular
gonna be
occurrence.
honest.
So he's like he's entourage.
Yeah,
He's probably on,
every
like,
Sunday. Yeah,
boys.
buddy, he's seen my pool. It's pretty.
It is schoolhouse.
I've heard you've upgraded. I want to talk about
It's
your
a nice
frat
house.
place after, but
It's
go
a
on.
nice house.
I'm not going to distract you, bro.
She came over to. We had a little like extravaganza. And,
What is that? What's that compared to a pool party?
A pool party's more like fratty style, and then like
just all
extravaganza was a little barbecue hangout. Chill.
Oh, a little
like,
classier.
Like
A
when you
kickback.
guys came
Yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah.
A little
You're
kickback.
maturing. I get it.
Yeah,
Your,
maturing.
your pool party is more like
Refined line.
a Playboy Mansion
Exactly.
style.
Okay. Right.
And she came over, and
Dong
you
sale.
know, I pulled the whole like, oh, maybe we should hang out sometime.
What?
That type of
And that worked?
I got her number, and she ended up coming out with us that night, and we just kind of kept talking the whole
And
night,
clicked.
and just clicked. I'm gonna be honest, she's exactly like me.
Really?
Yeah, dude. She is extremely just.
How are you describing yourself?
Like very, very
6'5",
outgoing.
300 pounds.
She's 6'5", 330 pounds.
She's just out there, dude. She's a great. She's honestly the best. That's
Oh,
happened to me. Like
I
that.
can see the love in your eyes. I was gonna say, Dan, if I was to describe your personality, I would say you kind of have a strong personality. You're someone that has kind of an infectious personality. You're also very warm. You come across as being genuine.
I am very warm. I'm sweating.
You don't know how to pose when it comes to your arms, and I don't think you ever will. If at 25 you don't know how to flex with the biceps, it's done.
There's a picture of me and what is it, Steph Rowe, and I'm posing with her like this.
Yeah,
I actually you can see a
something.
little.
So the one photo. Every guy needs one photo.
One photo.
How many photos did you take? So when you're trying to post a photo of yourself, because I see Dan. Don't think I didn't notice on your Instagram you were taking like classy photos. Like how many fucking photos per Instagram post did it take before that was the one?
Probably a few. I mean, you gotta make sure that Mike knows this. Your audience,
photography.
Mike looks like he takes one photo, and I respect.
Now
that.
He does it because he has 600,000 followers.
It is bad actually. My Instagram, I have a separate one for like my photography, and I spend way more time. Like my real Instagram,
100 pictures.
My like fitness Instagram.
Your passion. This fitness is just what makes the money. Your passion is the photography.
You don't know the real me. I'm deep.
Wow.
He's much more sentimental and deep.
Oh, Dan, I could tell you are. When you took us, so I'm going to tell a quick story. Dan took us out. It was great. Honestly, I had a fantastic time.
I think you're already thinking the second time. Because the first time I was thinking about it.
What?
The first time you were here, you had the afternoon off wherever you were. Yeah. And Dan and I were like, well, fuck
we went around Sacramento.
We went to Old Sac.
No, absolutely. No, I'm talking about that time.
Because I think
what about the San Francisco time?
Because San Francisco, I think, was a different trip even.
It was.
Yeah.
So
the very first time, I think you had, we trained, we podcast, we did all these things. And then you're kind of like, well, I have a day before I leave. Like, what do we do? And I don't do anything. Like, I literally work and then I sit on my couch and play video games.
It's basically true.
Yeah, it is. And so then me and Dan together are like, oh, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. Because Sacramento's not very touristy. It's a great city. I love it. It's my city. I'll never leave. But it's not like, oh, let's go to the carnival. And
there's
then we'll
not like some key stunner spots.
We're the capital. We're a working city. We're a commuter city, kind of. But we do have something called Old Sac, which because we're the capital.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So we have Old Sacramento.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
because
I forgot that though. Where did we?
I think we literally just walked around. We didn't do anything.
We were just bums walking around, but I had a great time. Yeah, and it's near the water.
It's on the river. It's on the river. It's like a train runs through there. That's literally back from the early in the century.
Is there like a naval vessel or something that was there? Or I remember the river.
That's in San Francisco.
Yeah, that's San Francisco. San Francisco, because San Francisco.
Remember the wooden planks and stuff.
Yeah, that's Sacramento. Yeah, they're actually redoing it, which is cool. So hopefully they'll make it more touristy now.
And then the second time, I will never forget. We went to the Wax Museum.
Yes.
Oh yeah, in San Francisco.
That was dope.
I've never done that. That was cool.
Yeah. No, the whole thing was great. We Mike did some dancing, as always. Did some MJ.
That's right. Wax museums are cool. I like doing like bullshit touristy things.
Yeah. It's all fun.
When I've been traveling now, that's the goal. Is like how much like
touristy type shit.
Me and my girlfriend hopped on like it's like a $50 bus ride, but you sit on the top of the bus and they take you around New York.
Double deckers.
I love that.
Joke.
Yeah.
So my mom has lived in Toronto forever. I was born in Toronto. She's like, I want to take one of those tours to the bus. I could try just like see what they show, like what they talk about. No, I love it.
Yeah.
I did that with my girlfriend because she came over she came over for Thanksgiving with the
Whoa.
family. Yeah. Hey,
man, how long have you guys been dating?
Are you married?
Like 4 months.
Is there a ring on that?
Okay.
That's the real deal, bro.
Listen. Yeah. She so my girlfriend, she was adopted, and her family. They don't really do much, she said.
Are they local? Is she local?
Yeah, they're local. They live in
whatever.
Why are you such a sentimental fuck?
And she was like, me and my family don't really do much. I was like, come over.
Yeah, a little more casual than hey, meet the parents.
Yeah. Well, she met the parents.
I know, but I mean,
But anyways, we did the whole San Francisco tour also.
Yeah.
I love touring my own city.
Yeah.
It's the sickest thing ever.
Oh, I'll share a story. Mike, before we go on, introduce who we're talking to right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only
one and only.
Storniello, young cat, played some football, went to college locally. He's a San Francisco cat. I obviously here am located in Sacramento. We were training partners for a very long time.
He's your star pupil.
He's by far in my A grade of
1951 total.
Yeah, 805 squat, pulled in the sevens. Very good athlete, very good kid.
He ignored your bench.
Yeah, we're not going to
bench was like 450.
No one cares. But good dude. He was in school the whole time. Recently graduated, so him and I don't get to catch up as much. He's busy. I'm busy traveling. He's busy finding his way in the world. Omar and him connected well when Omar comes to visit.
I thought Dan was
so we decided to have him on just for the casual conversation because the kid knows how to talk. And that's
Gift of gab. That's how he got the girl. If you guys want to know the truth, it's because he has a strong, as I said, personality.
Omar's not a big fan of hip hop, but there is a rapper called the Gift of Gab. cab from Davis, California.
True. Oh, isn't Davis like all well off or no?
It's pretty well off. But so it's not a gangster.
Like, Drake, like Drake was talking about just quickly. He says like Toronto. He's like, well, like, I'm from Toronto. I'm from the 6th. I'm like, bro, you're from Forest Hill.
Yeah,
you're
nice.
from like the nice area. That's like
you were on
north.
Degrassi.
Yeah, he's a kid star.
Yeah, you watched
that. But I brought up Gift of God.
You don't know Toronto
because he's a rapper you would actually enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
He plays like real hip hop. He's a real lyricist. All that.
Okay, I'm down.
That brings me to a quick, tiny little story.
Okay,
I'll never forget when I picked you up from the airport.
Are you going to say the song?
And he's playing me the most obscure, crazy classic rock and like hard rock songs.
It was chill with me though, bro. And do you know the song?
I don't remember.
Oh, what the fuck, bro?
You got weird memories. He has a weird memory.
It's a gift. That's the one thing I have. I do have a strong memory for a couple different things. Bro, we bonded over a few different songs.
Yeah.
One of the ones, so it was on the radio because my phone couldn't connect to this shit. We're just like
Canadian
jamming.
internet doesn't transfer.
It
got caught up at the border.
We were jamming. So first, Phil Collins in the Air tonight was one of them, and then Peter Frampton Comes Alive came on, and then what's the song? I forget what it's actually called.
Do You Feel Like I Do?
Yeah, exactly. That song. And Dan and I, we actually
Do you feel like I do?
There's a lot of iconic San Francisco songs in music. You should just pump that and show around town.
What was amazing about that is that Dan picked me up from the airport like a stud, and it was going to take. I didn't know how long it was going to take. We actually decided to eat.
It took us like
4 hours. So 4 hours to go from San. But I knew that Dan was chill, that I was able to have a conversation and feel comfortable. You know, some people like you feel not that you have to put a front or anything like
awkward.
that. When I say that warm personality, I'm saying all this stuff because I'm about to trash your arms. But I was going to say that we were in the car, but I remember we were just talking like a mile a minute. You're talking to me about San Francisco because you love it. That's where you're from. And then maybe it was the Phil Collins song In the Air Tonight came on, and you're like, I love that song. I'm like, dude, I like this song too. And it just kind of got quiet.
We started holding hands,
and Dan just turned up the music, and we just like chilled to that song. And I think that was the official bonding moment.
And then remember some guy like hit my trunk?
Oh yeah, Dan no joke was ready to like punch someone out. I remember that.
Some guy, some crazy San Franciscan like did like a New York like.
Hey, what are you doing, pal?
Yeah, like yellow lighted and like tapped my car, and I was like, oh great, like I don't want to kill some guy while we have, one of Mark's guests here.
Dan got riled up.
San Francisco's a weird spot. I like the city, but I mostly like the idea of the city. Whenever I get there, and it is hectic.
It's like too busy. What is it?
Well, people say San Francisco and New York are like the two most hectic, right? Because they're all very small, actual landmass with a torrid amount of people.
Yeah, that's insane.
But in San Francisco, I get anxiety. I have anxiety issues anyways, but I get anxiety. I feel the homeless there are very grumpy.
Yep.
They're very. I heard they're aggressive. I heard they're more aggressive than LA homeless people.
No, way more. I think so.
What?
I think there's more drug issues going on in San Francisco, especially.
Tenderloin is the worst.
So Tenderloin is
that an area or street?
Yeah, so it's a not nice area in San Francisco. San Francisco is basically an island. It's not an island, but it's basically an island.
Yeah.
And so there are portions in there that drugs are rampant. Tenderloin area, even parts of the Mission used to not be as nice. So there's all these, but there's homeless everywhere. There's some that are very friendly and doing their thing and probably on rough times, and I'm sorry to them. But there's some that are very deep into drugs, very aggressive, very grumpy, very creepy, and dangerous. Honestly, I don't find that in New York. I find in New York.
We'll find out in January, bro.
That's because in New York there's literally 100,000 police officers.
There's
an officer on every corner.
So the ratio between officers and civilians is it missing in San Francisco, or is there not a strong?
I think it's here and there, but I don't think the drugs. And I'm sure there are drugs.
You don't think
in
it's
New York.
a drug?
I don't think the drugs are as rampant in New York because the homeless.
In Canada, we're having a fentanyl crisis. So like that's going on in the West Coast. Like, is there like a particular drug, or is it just like drugs in general?
I think drugs by heroin and opiates.
Heroin and like crack. Like that,
but New York, they are almost more like expecting of you to ignore them. So some of the homeless will just be sitting on the corner and just kind of like hey, they won't even look at you, and they just kind of like a panhandling. Where San Francisco, they're looking at you and either following you for a block. I don't mind.
You gotta be strong.
I surprisingly haven't had that. I have, but I haven't.
The area you live in too is a little different. I know you've been everywhere. But
also, you're big dog Dan, like being like 6'5", like 330.
I'm little Mike.
So like,
little Mike is like, hey, leave me alone.
I don't like it.
So like, I was a street kid. Like my parents worked 8 to 5 every single day. I had to take the bus everywhere. I had to. I
grew up in the city.
I needed a cell phone at the age of 13 because if something were to happen, that exact reason. So
it's a lot different than growing up pretty much anywhere in the world.
So I would take the bus from, my parents would drive me to school, of course, at 7:30 in the morning, and then after that, I would be on my own. Like I'd have to take the bus to like the Boys and Girls Club.
Buy a Snickers on the way home.
Buy a Snickers on the way home. I always stopped at this coffee shop to get something, or submarine sandwiches.
There you go.
Shout out to my boys, submarine sandwiches in San Francisco.
Is that just called submarine sandwiches?
Yeah, it's in the Marina District. Best sandwiches in the world.
Love it.
It beats Ike's Place, if you guys remember.
You're a loyal. You strike me as a loyal guy, Dan. Yeah.
Dude, very loyal. Very loyal.
Go on.
I had a lot of experience with the homeless because my brother was he was a sponsored skateboarder, so we always were like at these.
Is this the rapper brother too?
No, Mike. Mike was the
really?
brother. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He was a sponsored
because the older brother was a rapper.
He was.
We need to get both them on here next.
Both of them.
Yeah, why do we have you on here?
Yeah,
like, what was it?
Yeah, what were you?
The personality.
We won't have that. I was always with him, always taking the bus, and like skateboarders, they're always in like sketch ass.
Yeah,
like,
they're looking for stairs.
Looking for stairs and railings, and
yeah.
like we always had experience with the homeless, and like I don't know, it was kind of like they ignored us, we ignored them.
I think it's different too. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs of Sacramento.
And so it might strike you too. I was going to say, like Toronto does have a homeless presence, but you're there. Like they're friendly. I was going to say, so I was in San Diego, LA this trip, and now Sacramento. LA definitely, as I said before, they're very aggressive because there's a drug problem.
Yeah, certain parts of LA you can avoid.
Oh, well, Skid Row we passed by. Bad. But I was going to say Sacramento. I remember just one person. We're staying here downtown in Sacramento. And what happened? We're walking down the street, and the guy looked like pretty well dressed, and he said, "Excuse me, do you have any change?" I said, "Oh, sorry, man." He's like, "That's okay. Have a nice day," and just kept walking. I was like, "Oh,
it could also just been a dude that needed some change."
I'm like, "Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing." Yeah,
it is weird. Like you hear, I think it was San Francisco that kind of made the rumors and articles probably like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, where they'd be in like there's a New York Times article or whatever, be like homeless man in San Francisco makes $100,000.
Yeah,
right.
The Bushman.
Yeah,
there's this character. His name is the Bushman.
I think you may.
And he's in Fisherman's Wharf, and he literally has some. He holds some bushes, some sticks, and sits down at the wharf on like a crate, like a plastic crate, and scares the shit out of people. And people, they go nuts. There's crowds around him. He's got apparently he's got like a cell phone, an apartment.
Yeah, of course.
San Francisco is like way more. I wouldn't say more touristy than New York, but like Fisherman's Wharf in particular. You go there and there's people from Russia, there's people from Germany,
we went there.
People from Australia.
What was that? It was a pretty cool arcade that we went to.
Yeah. There's old school. That's a wharf.
But it's like shit. It's not like modern video games. A lot of it was like old school shit from the 30s.
Yeah.
I was gonna say how I know Dan is a sentimental fuck. He's a softie at heart. So it was the San Francisco trip. I remember Sac Old Town. But when we went to San Francisco, he's like, I'm going to show you around my town. Cool, we go all the way around. We go to a scenic part. He's like, this is my favorite. And he kind of like got like soft for a second. He's like, this is my favorite spot to hang out. And it was like out by the cliffs, looking just out at the ocean. It was remote. It wasn't one of the popular
bathhouses, right?
It's called Land's End.
Okay, so it wasn't one of those like popular touristy spots. Like this is something you discovered in you.
Like it is, but he took us on a path.
Oh no, you had to go down like through like some like sticks and like bushes and shit. Like it's a spot, and then you took us to a very personal place, and you're just like, like this is the spot.
I remember we took some scenic photos.
Oh, we took
Omar wanted to do like one of these sitting down.
San Francisco is insanely scenic for like stuff like that, like iconic, like Full House and the Golden Gate Bridge, and like even the wharf. Like everyone kind of knows what it looks like before even going.
Yeah. It's I love it, dude. Like honestly, give my best friend, my best friend Alex.
Is that the one that kind of looks like you?
Yeah. Okay. Dude, he lost like 75 pounds. Shout out to my boy, man.
How did he do it? Not
honestly,
eating, but like what was
not
the,
eating, but like he started to like
if you say,
really focus on his nutrition and like run. He ran a lot. He started to literally just run. That's it, and lost 70 pounds. He was like 270.
Yeah.
Now he's, I think, probably like 200 pounds or like 190.
He didn't play football, right?
No, he played golf at Sac State.
That's good.
Why'd you laugh?
Connor's a golfer.
He's I know. I've seen some of his snaps.
Connor's good.
He's good.
Connor's like all state.
What's that like? So it's 72 or whatever. Like what we
80 and under.
Yeah.
80 and under.
Yeah, I'm sure he shoots par.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I played it for quick story. I played it for a few months growing up. Except one time I went out to the range with my brother. It was a golf course that like we went with our father, and they didn't allow like kids under 13 to play. He didn't know that, so he was like with his friend. He's like, all right, we're gonna golf. Here's like $30, like enjoy yourself at the range, like whatever. We're like, cool.
Yeah.
So we're just like slamming balls, like not really caring, just being like teenagers. And so we started, you guys have obviously watched Happy Gilmore, right?
Yeah.
Where he runs up to it and hits it. So we just started getting silly because we're there for 4 or 5 hours. Just like
golf's long.
Yeah, we ate our food.
Yeah.
We're chilling. We're hitting balls. Like there's nothing to do. It's like out in the middle of nowhere. So we're just like trying to do more and more ridiculous shots. I am like not exaggerating this. My brother went up to hit the ball. There was an old dude that was facing, so he's a lefty. The other guy was facing directly towards him. But he was like it's a driving range. He was about 20 feet away from him. So they're facing each other, but they're way far away from each other. Yeah. And then the range is the opposite way. So they're not hitting close to one another, all that stuff. My brother goes to do the Happy Gilmore swing, and he says something like whatever, like, see ya! Like goes up to hit it. Hits it, he shanks it just on the edge, and immediately it splits, like the ball splits. I'm not joking. It whizzes like 3 millimeters away from the guy's head. The guy's head was looking down, and it went just like that.
Shit.
And then it fell on the ground. Yeah. And after that, we both, like, I kind of just turned
killed him.
to my brother. Oh, no, it went, dude.
Yeah.
Golf club to the head?
Yeah.
That's it.
And of course, people were like, oh, like, why the hell were you doing that? Like, look, we're like 11 and 12 or whatever, just like at the golf course, like trying to make it fun. But after that, I just stopped playing golf.
I like golf a lot. And what I like about golf, opposed to even basketball, what I played my whole life, is that there's every sport, obviously, those are the main sports I played, have such a culture about them.
Yep.
Like golf is almost like, a step away from martial arts. There's a respect to it. There's an honor to it. There's all these rules.
You can't just be a regular athlete and go play golf.
Yeah.
It's very...
you can't just go there and just start slamming balls around. This guy goes, you go, whatever. And then basketball is kind of the opposite, but it's just a different culture of its own. I'm sure football locker room talk and things like that have its own.
We'll get into that. I want to know why, Dan, you haven't given Mike an opportunity, your girlfriend is with the Sacramento Kings, to play for the Sacramento Kings. Mike
was
ball.
quite the
young Michael.
I'm old.
Have you seen him play? Have you actually
I've seen Mike. Me and Mike actually had an opportunity to play at Sac State once.
That was funny.
Really? I didn't know that.
And we won over. We just played a couple pickup games, and Mike was killing it.
I haven't.
Oh my!
He was.
Yeah.
No, I believe it.
He almost died too.
I did.
What happened?
Someone jumped up. Some guy fucking clipped him from underneath.
It's literally the reason I stopped playing. Is just
that fall.
No. Just people and they don't know how to play. And so those kids,
unnecessary.
They're just college kids, and I'm not mad at that kid, but people don't understand, and it's you can't say this without sounding like a cocky bitch. But I know what I'm doing, and I'm explosive. Yeah. So if I'm getting up in the air, and some kid's dangling around, and he slaps my legs, and I'm going head first into the ground.
That floor is hard to fall.
Yeah,
it
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. I did. I went head first.
And
that's not the first time, but as I'm gained more mass, I used to play at 180.
When you fall.
Yeah, 220 and old
Big.
now. Yeah, it starts to be bad.
When you fall and you weigh more, everything just
the bigger you are, the harder you fall.
Yeah,
this is kind of. I've had some experience with that department.
Dan's like, I've experienced it. I felt it. You played football though, right? Did you
I did.
What was your position?
I played offensive line.
Okay.
I got recruited as a tackle, offensive tackle, and then they moved me to guard. I played 3.5 years.
Yep.
I had speaking of which, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. I had a very gruesome knee injury. I had 2 knee surgeries.
Really?
Tore my LCL, my meniscus, fractured my fibula and my tibia, all in one blow.
The LCL ripped it off the bone.
Yeah. Literally, my knee exploded.
Yeah.
How old are you? Probably 20,
I was a freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, 19, 18.
Yeah. And then took that whole year off because of how bad the injury was. Came back, physical therapy, everything like that. Tore my meniscus again.
Same knee?
Same knee. Yeah. Then I had to get a second surgery. I was out for 1.5 years.
Yeah.
I got a year back. So then I fully recovered, came back. I was never, speaking of weights, I was never really big into weights until I got into college.
Sure.
So obviously as an athlete, you need to be explosive.
Yeah.
You need to be, you need to be strong. But obviously I kind of learned also that it doesn't matter how strong you are with sports.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's very different.
It's very different because your body, I've seen the weakest of guys take on the strongest of guys
and win because it's
and win every time because it's all about leverage and body placement and where your foot is and where your neck is, everything, your head is, everything. So I quickly learned that in my off season I try to get as strong as possible. I have a really gross deadlift that I did in my off season. I still have the video.
Before you started training with Mike and super
this was before
stuff.
Yeah. So I did Olympic weightlifting. So
you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they do in college, Olympic weightlifting. So I think I full power cleaned and jerked about like 155 kilos.
Yep. So about like 350, something like that.
Something like that, 340, 350. I deadlifted like 565 pounds. I squatted, heaviest I got was like 575. And then benched like 340.
Let's not talk about the bench.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about anything.
All right, Mr. Caps, get the fuck out of here.
So,
with the fire.
I have a theory in my life, and many people do. They talk about like Omar's into it, like whatever, 10,000 hours of expertise or whatever. So I'm
trying to become proficient at something.
And I honestly think that's a wrong number, but the idea of it makes sense.
It's about quality of time that you invest, not just like raw hours.
And genetics and what sport, because you can't get 10. You start to do numbers in about 10,000 hours of squatting.
Yeah,
like that's not going to happen.
It's impossible. Like, how many hours do we train probably in a year if you train 5?
Well, even in a session, a squat session takes an hour, but you're not squatting for an hour.
No.
So like none of that makes sense. Yeah. But similar theories I have of like just like it might take 5 years to be comfortable at something, and then 10 years to grind through something. Like we were not joking about. It took you 6 years to get through school because of sports and other things, and just. The reason I dropped out of school was because you can't get the classes you want to get often, and so then you're all right. I got to get credits.
Is that what made you decide to quit? So you were 2 years in, Mike. What was the program you're in? I totally forget.
There's no program. So America's different. We talked about this on our last podcast. America's different. Basically, you out of high school, if you have an idea of what you want to do, that's fine. But basically, first 2 years of college for everybody is just general ed. So it's like advanced math, advanced science, and then from there. Then the last 2 years are more experts into what you want. And then if you're going to take like a quote unquote, real path and go doctor or whatever, then there's master's, PhDs.
Interesting.
So everyone kind of takes general stuff. Some of it is a little more specific. To get into the med program, you might need extra sciences.
Yeah, you need like these prerequisites.
Right, exactly. But so everyone takes general ed. Same thing. I play basketball, but the reason I actually quit is 1, I hate school, and 2, you can't get the classes you want. So I'm trying to take this one science class so I can go to a school that I want.
And it's like not available?
It keeps filling up. Filling up, and so then I need credits. So I'm taking poetry or taking golf class. Just a waste.
Slam.
Yeah, you're just wasting time.
And you're spending how much? Like also, college in America isn't like.
So I went to junior college, so it was crazy cheap.
Yeah,
a couple grand.
Yeah, junior college is way cheaper.
Yeah. State school is probably the next level.
But Sac State, like where you went
Sac
to.
State
20 semester, 20 a year.
No.
Oh, really?
Sac State. What's it called? Per semester. It's probably like $4,000.
All right, so 10 grand a year. 10 grand a year with books and whatever.
Plus, books and food. And so you're probably...
You don't need books, bro.
And then a step up from that's like UC system here in California, University of California. Those are a little bit harder to get into.
It's quote unquote a higher quality.
$50,000 a year.
Yeah, it could be, but then they're a little more expensive. And then also like then a private school as well. There's plenty of private universities and stuff here that are also maybe anywhere from 50 to maybe 100 grand.
I was going to say just quickly that that does kind of shock me because the best university, arguably in Canada, University of Toronto, and it is ranked. I looked it up after we had that conversation. I think it's like ranked 25 in North America. It's like. So it would be the equivalent of like $4,000 American a semester. You know what I mean?
Which leads me into exactly where I'm headed. Is that one? I don't think it fucking matters what level of school you go to.
Yeah, unless you want to become a doctor.
Even that, I don't think it fucking matters. Like
sorry. Okay, I got it. I thought you were going to say school or no school. You were saying about the level of school
and school and no school.
What makes I think I see where he's getting to. What just because you went to Harvard, what makes you smarter than me?
Or when you go to your doctor, when you're oh man, I got a cold. Do you go to your doctor and say, hey bro, what school did you go to? You don't know what school your doctor went to, and which
there's a lot of shit for brains that like graduate from
right. And I think Dan's probably on the lower cusp of this, and then we're probably on the higher cusp of this, at least in America, where a lot of my friends took the more traditional route and went to school, and they were some of the first people that graduated. They all went to great schools. I have friends that went to really smart schools, graduated cum whatever
that
loud kumi kumi, and then
I don't think that's what it is, bro.
Loud
They're talking about something else.
Loud come to 90, and they still can't get jobs. I went through what I considered college by being a personal trainer and making $10 an hour, and opening my own gym.
So rough, man.
Opening my own gym and failing it, and putting money from another job to fund my gym that failed for 5 years. and then job experiences working in the past fitness industries, just chipping away until even now I'm not even close to an expert, but I'm at least now in the middle ground of I have half a finger around what the hell I'm doing. And Omar, I think, is in a similar position to me. You're 6 years in. I know you studied history and things, but then you kind of got a sales job, marketing job, which is very also common in America. Like, what goes through your head? Like, all right, I got my diploma. Like, well, shit.
I'm like, I freaked out. Like, as soon as I graduated, well, first and foremost, I'm not 100% graduated. I still have to take.
So you still are in college?
No, technically, no. Yes.
Because every time I'd see you, I'd visit you like 1 year later, super training. You used to talk about that college life. I'm like, Dan, aren't you 25?
So I have 5 units I can complete. They can be any. So you can go to like a junior college, take it online, and take like a fucking PE class. I just, as soon as I walked, which is the equivalent of graduating, just not get the piece of paper. I like freaked into I need to get a job mode. So like That's what I have been working in the customer service industry since I was 16. My parents, whether it was restaurants, like I was in the restaurant industry for like 5-6 years. Server, busser, host, you name it, worst shifts ever, cleaning up, just shit. Like making $10 an hour, not anything. Of course, my parents supported me and helped me out a lot. I love my parents to death for that, and still do help me out a little bit. But like I went into panic mode where it's like, damn, I see this person and that person and that person and that person, and I got so overwhelmed that I was like, fuck, I need to get a job. I need to get like a job, a career. And ideally, I want to get into law enforcement. That's what I want to do. But I want to try. I'm young. I'm 25. I just turned 25, and like, I want to try some things out first. I want to see if I can excel.
Why the hell? You have that fallback plan of
well, it's like if that career, it's like once you start, that's it. That's your career. There's no going back. There's no in between. There's nothing. You can't really have someone on the side. Maybe until like later on in life, but like
hard.
I just want to try some shit
You're
first.
Young, why the hell not? I think also you hit the nail on the head. There's a few things I want to say. The first is that you hit the nail on the head when you said, why not try a few things? You mentioned like your brother. You said one like he got paid to do skateboarding, and then also the other one he did a little bit of like
not professional, but he's just a character.
But like the idea like Micah wanted to play basketball, like growing up, and so we all have these dreams, and I think it's important to have multiple dreams or options to pursue, and be willing and open to accept that one might not work out, and then go to the next one, or keep kind of. We talk about this like failing forward, and that's what I was gonna say. I think it's bullshit overall, where people say like they talk about like I grinded, I this, I that. You got to hustle. I'm like, no fucking shit. That's just called work. Like, that's not called grinding. That's called work.
I was thinking about this morning too. It's common. Everyone's like, well, you have to fail. Like, yeah, you have to fail, but like, shouldn't promote failing either. You do, and then you kind of come into a roadblock, and either you're gonna bash your head against that wall and get through, or you're gonna walk around it, or you're gonna jump over it. Like, that's just fucking how life works.
We filmed 2 podcasts. We did our thing. We worked. So it's like basically yesterday we considered like a 14-hour day or whatever. Like, who cares?
Omar had me up till 1 in the morning.
I did.
I'm so tired. I know it's my third cup of coffee.
It's gonna be really cool with our buddy Alan Thrall. But like the point, like, we weren't like we weren't giving like motivational speeches to one another, because like, I think also the hidden element,
riling each other up between each podcast. We got this, bro.
Let's go, bro. Do it for the glory. No, but I think a lot of people.
Lines in the back.
Yeah, well, couple.
Huh?
What are you guys talking about? Wallpaper?
Wallpaper. Yeah.
Like line wall.
Mike's straight edge. He doesn't understand. I was gonna say that, but the way you indicated it, I think kind of if you like something, you're much more likely to put in more hours. So you want to pursue a couple different things. Yeah. Maybe you have ideas in your head. Maybe you want to share them. Maybe you don't want to share them. But like if you do pursue them, you're willing to put in that much more work. So that whole concept where people create that negative association, like, oh, this is the grind. Like I grind for this. No, man. I'm like I'm trying to create the future that I want and do what I like. And earn money through it.
I think that's a flaw in everyone's system, because I think Canada fits the same thing where, like, at 18, you're supposed to say, like, I'm going to be a doctor. Hustle, you do hustle.
No one fucking knows what they
for 6 years. You don't know what it's like to work in a hospital, but you work 6 years and hundreds of grand towards being a doctor.
That's crazy.
And then you have to beg and scratch and claw your way to even get the job. An internship. Yeah. And then once you're there, like, all right, now I'm 33. I've done this for 10 years, and now
for how long? 20 years of my life.
And now I'm touching balls in their coffin all day, and I hate my fucking life.
That's our
gynecologist.
That's our system.
I should have just done YouTube. It's so fucking easy.
Our system is like that way, dude. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like I went to private school, Catholic school, my whole life. Yeah. My parents spent
That's why you're a little angel.
Thousands of. That's why I'm
good
perfect.
Mama's boy.
So my parents spent thousands of dollars for me to go to school and to earn a prestigious education, and I went to a college prep, and it's funny how like our system, it's like you would think that leads you to like an easy coming sort of career and like something that's
it did like our parents like you literally high school. College,
their jobs don't exist almost.
No, they don't. Amazon's killing us.
No, they're not as so. The jobs that our parents had aren't as stable. They don't pay as much. The rising price of houses in general. So let's say like Toronto, we're talking off a podcast about this, but like the house that your parents have, let's just say it's gone up over the last 20 years.
1,000%.
Yeah, like 400% in terms of value. In Toronto, the last 4 or 5 years, because I was like, do I want to get a place, this and that. The same place has definitely doubled in just 4 or 5 years. And so when you look at what the average person earns or what a traditional job earns, not that it's not enough, but you got to start thinking of backup plans.
It's not enough.
The price is literally like in the Midwest of America, we'd all be homeowners and be awesome.
It's great.
You go to a
San Francisco
coast.
is one of the most
expensive.
I literally think San Francisco is the most expensive place to live in all of America. I think there are some places over. No, I think San Francisco is above it.
Really?
Because I was looking at some stuff in San Francisco and it's bad, but it's not as bad. Like you literally Zillow or whatever the website in San Francisco.
Zillow,
and your jaw just drops like that piece of shit's $1 billion.
Like,
dude,
you can't believe it.
You came and get a bathroom for like $3,000 a month.
Yeah,
in San Francisco.
That's insane.
Yeah,
fucking
it was
crazy.
Right off the freeway, right off the 101. Those new condos, 450 square foot or something, which is literally like as big as this podcast table. Was a mil 0.2.
Yeah,
dude, no, that's I say we do. Has anyone ever read Walden, like Henry David?
I think you're
Thoreau?
talking to two wrong guys.
Going out that their book learning, going out into the woods, like basically just experience oneself.
Is that Born in the Wild or something?
You had to buy.
But I didn't. Doesn't mean I read
it says
them.
open page 5.
He's at the test. Like what
doesn't
I
mean I read it.
Is that Born in the Wild or something? Or what?
No,
what is that?
It's just called
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild. That was great.
That's
separate. All right.
But it's kind of a similar concept.
Coming to America.
You see, Eddie Murphy. I love that where the guy says,
movie.
"Hey,
fuck you!"
He's like, yes.
My favorite part is the Jewish guy and the where's the soup?
Oh, dude, we also brought you on here, Dan, because we're gonna have you do a bunch of
we'll get there next. Go back to your
so
Thoreau. Hit me.
So Walden, the whole concept of what he did, he decided to become more introspective. So he removed himself from society at the time, bought like a 6-month supply of food, and he just kind of like lived on his own in nature, and reflected and contemplated.
That is like the whatever book I'm talking about, Into the Wild. I saw the movie.
So I think a lot of people kind of experience that, where it's like, is the quote unquote rat race for me? Like, what is my place in society? What I ultimately want to do? Or all these things like that whole, you talk about like doctors are kind of the big one where you got to spend that amount of
lawyers
years.
Or something.
The program I was in, a good amount of my friends from high school, I would say probably there's like 60 people in the program. Probably a third are on their way to becoming doctors. So in that program, and one of my best friends, smartest guy I know. So he did like there's there's like A, B, B, C calculus and stuff. He never did not ace a test. He got the only 2 bonus questions right. He got 102% on BC. So he's a stud of a stud.
Yeah.
Amazing guy, like also like super fun party guy, but he got like jaded going to like on his way. He was going to become a neurosurgeon, and like honestly, he like did some things, just like dicked around, went to like London. He's there in the UK. Took a few more years, but like if even this guy that like could just ace school, do whatever.
It does make you happy,
and he's like 8 years in, and he's just like, what?
He's still in the system.
Going on?
Yeah, I think at least
so many people experience that.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things like. Self-awareness, at least in America, again, I can only really speak for what I see here, is so neglected. Like you said, whether it is like meditation, which I'm not a huge fan of because I have too much ADD, but just little things like whatever I'm doing.
But that's why you need meditation.
No, but like
as Bruce Lee calls the no-thingness.
But like I do have things in my life that I get to zone out and be in my own head. Whether it's my cardio, whether it's my driving, whether it's even lifting weights. I go to a certain gym, so I only do headphones. I'm not training with people, and that's when I get.
That's why you never train with me.
That's why I get introspective. That's why I never train. But then, and beyond that, I do think it's a systematic thing. It's a personal thing where these people have to be more self-critical and self-aware of like what's actually happening. Like, are you going to chase down this money and be a doctor and hate your life the rest of for eternity, or are you going to try to find some happiness and fit into this system, which is the opposite side where me and Omar I think kind of lie is like. not that we're making the money that we want and all these things, but we took the path of doing what we want to do, and which has opened in the last 10 years while these other jobs have closed. Sure. It doesn't mean it's easier, but it has opened.
And you have to be willing to realize when an opportunity hits you, because I think we all have opportunities or chances, and they might seem either a daunting, scary, or whatever. Like you have something like, so before I also like opened up, like not my own gym, but my own group of like strength classes. But before that, I was working
Omar's Booty Boot Camp.
The Booty Boot Camp. Just that's what like Breck and Contreras. I'm like, you're my hero,
Jesus
bro.
Christ, I need that.
Dude, he just trains like attractive women. I'm like, that's perfect. So, but I had a safe job. It was like 6 figures, like working as a personal training director. It's like, so why go out on your own? I want to ask you, Dan, because I know the moment when kind of like there's a scene. I'm going to reference another book. Mark Twain, Huckleberry Finn, anyone?
Come
on, bro.
I think
I know the I know
like
the song.
Like the
Can you be my Huckleberry?
Or
you don't have to
even Tom Sawyer, or you watch the movie.
Yeah, he's floating down on some sticks on the river, Mississippi River.
So Huckleberry decides. Huckleberry.
There's a lot of N-words in that book. I did read that book.
You know what's funny about Huckleberry is so there is a lot of use of the N-word, but Jim actually as the character, the black slave. He's actually kind of the Jesus figure, and Tom Sawyer is the devil. He's holding
him back.
Mark Twain was ahead of his time, sure. But I was gonna say, anyways, Huckleberry makes that choice where he just looks at society and he's like, "Fuck it!" Like he sees like kind of how corrupt, how shit it is. Like he doesn't want to conform, how fake, like kind of people that are super preachy are. So he just says like, "I'm out." I kind of had that experience. Not quite going to school, but also like working a little bit where I knew like it pushed me over the edge. I have that. I'll share it. What are you, Dan? For you, like kind of now, like
you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, you're kind of you're floating through. You don't quite know, but like, what are your thoughts? Like what is your state of mind right now?
As in, like trying to progress forward.
A young man graduating from college.
I foresee it as like, as I was talking about earlier, like just because so and so went to Harvard or wherever else doesn't make you more. Smarter or more intellectual or whatever.
They took better tests 5 years ago.
Just because my GPA may be lower than yours, what makes that person more qualified than me? Just because,
especially because your squat's bigger.
Especially because my squat's bigger. Bigger. This coffee's getting to me. I don't know what's going on.
We didn't put coffee in that for you, bro.
Oh, no wonder why my eyes feel droopy.
We spiked it.
But anywho, like. That's the way like our society works. Is like I think that they put these people on a pedestal that just because on paper they may seem better, but in reality they're someone like me or someone like Mike could be 2 times as better than they
actually do the job.
Than actually perform the job at a high capacity.
I think that's when I was talking system. I think like we need to like turn our shit upside down. Where one, I don't want to go too deep. Yeah, I don't want to go too deep.
But watch Stranger Things.
It's the best.
Oh, it's we need to be in it, bro.
Ever.
Oh, it's so good.
So Connor wants to do a skit. Maybe we'll do it today.
Absolutely.
He has like a little script.
I love Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's really good.
I have the soundtrack on my phone. I'm not joking.
It's good.
It's awesome.
Our whole system's screwed from day one, where our kids are sitting in a desk for 7 hours straight. But that's a little bit beside the point. But my point being is, how do you go to college and choose your path?
Conspiracy theory style, not quite all the way, but you know how they engineered school in the first place, right? The German school of thought that they want to compliant kind of members of society.
Yeah.
So that is built into it.
So that's how Waldorf started. Is to
well, it does have a German name like that.
No, it's Rudolf Steiner. He's a philosopher.
Waldorf.
He's a
Luftwaffe.
He's a German philosopher.
Okay.
And to push against that system, he started his own school in Germany, and then it spread across the world.
Interesting. So he was actually counter to basically.
No, you would love it. You make fun of it, but you would love it.
Because you always say, I went to a fancy art school. Then can you stop checking your text messages? No.
Hey, listen,
you got a hot girlfriend. You know when you got a 10 out of 10, you're just like, I'm keeping this thing.
So our system, and in other countries do something similar where maybe you have to go to the military for 2 years before you go to university and things like that. But if we have like some kind of internship after high school where you get to like explore jobs, actually work, somehow, I don't know how it's funded, right? And so how do you know what you want to do before you can do it? Like I don't know if I like pineapple before I taste fucking pineapple, and then I can tell you if I like it.
That's why
I love fucking pineapple.
That's why our college system is so messed up.
Yeah,
why do I need to learn what the state wants me to learn?
It has zero to do.
College should be so you should learn your general education in high school. I agree.
Right. Which you already do.
When you get to college, that's when you become an adult. That's when you should. So like my major, if I want, criminal justice, I should have only taken throughout my entire college career what I wanted to do. Because
what was necessary?
I had to take what the state wants me to learn, whereas that's making them money, that's making the school money.
Yeah.
Every,
and it also bloats up the amount of years you have to.
Exactly.
And beyond that, the schools or the classes that are even for a specific topic or thing
may not be able to get.
Well, and they're not job applicable always,
exactly.
right? So like you'll learn all these things and maybe you need to know them about the judicial system per se, going on your example. But then once you actually get into a court, like you learned none of that.
None of that.
Or how you actually read a file or whatever, you learned none of that. How you do your fucking taxes, you learned none of that.
I've never some of the like most necessity
the basics
how to
of being
pay a bill.
So if
that's why back in the 50s, like they had fucking like
business
the wood
class
making classes.
right.
Very useful.
Useful ass classes.
Out of the three of us, who had a carpentry class?
Yeah, Mike did.
That's
why our parents. That's why you figure why your parents are so fucking smart.
They're way better than us.
They're better than us at everything.
But that,
fuck mom.
That is the meatloaf. I was gonna say.
We want it now.
I was gonna say that is the truth when it comes to all those things, because if you think about it, like. They want us to be functioning members of society, but we're not necessarily given those tools. Like when you talk about taxes, there are so many, quite frankly, not loopholes. I'm not being
confusing as shit.
I still don't know what to claim. So I've had 100 jobs. I still don't know what to claim.
But you know, when it comes to like businesses, like corporations, where they use tax loopholes, like the idea of like a lot of big businesses setting up in different countries where they have more tax rates, like all things that no one knows about. That
this podcast is filed in
that allows
Ghana. You have no idea what's going on.
That allows people to accumulate then wealth more easily. That's not readily available to everyone out there. So even the basic shit, I think there should be a couple different things. I think there should be courses on like ethics. Bro, what are you
I'm feeling droopy.
Are you for real?
What's going on?
No, this is just coffee, bro. It's just coffee. Yeah. Not to be.
I'm drunk. What's happening?
That's when you almost tripped upstairs going. You're like,
Well, it doesn't help that I have size yacht feet. Yeah, my fucking shoes are about that long.
You said, "Oh, this is nice upstairs," and then
went through the floor.
So I think there should be a few things. There should be courses on ethics to teach people just like morality, like how to be a functioning member of society, a good civilian. I think there should also be financial courses. So it's like, hey man, here's how like taxes, money, wealth, savings, all those basics. Like you think that there's a lot of different classes, or you can afford it in the time that it takes a kid from being a small child all the way to youth. You can educate them on these things, and I absolutely think that college is bloated. My moment that I had when I thought to myself, you know what, like this is not for me. I was doing a double major, business and economics, and then with a concentration in finance, whatever. So I was doing it, it was fine, but I started working as a trainer because I like to like work out. We all kind of have a similar thing where we play like sports growing up, we like to be active. So I'm like, I just want to do that. I was feeling like just like whatever, like a little tired and all those things. Started doing it, liked it, started working there, cool. I started training some of the people, the professors, and then some other people like would come in, and people that pay for training.
Office hours, huh?
Yeah.
Wink, wink. That's how you got a couple grades, huh? Wink, wink.
Hey now. Sir, how can I
Hey, Barbara, I'm coming in.
Barbara?
Barbara. Barbara is
Don't talk about Barbara.
She's
like
that. I'm like,
okay?
Dan, you watch your mouth. You watch your mouth.
She's a saint.
Yeah. The personality of an angel. I was going to say that what happened, I started training these people, and only people, honestly, that are well off can afford training, because it's like $80 a pop, $90 a pop. Like, who has that? Like, basically $1,000 a month to pay for training. Yeah. And I remember a lot of them, because you kind of become a rent-a-friend, they weren't enjoying what they were doing, their jobs. I'm like, these are doctors, lawyers. And I remember one time in particular, like someone, like this wife, like her husband cheated on her, like all this crazy shit, but this like neurosurgeon who I respected, he came in and like he actually like broke down one day. We were training.
Training's crazy, isn't it? Right? You're literally a psychologist.
Oh, dude, he broke down, not because like the stress of the job, but just like about, and he told me he was in his early 50s. He wanted to be a writer. That was his passion. Like he had a particular style. They like kind of Hunter S. Thompson, if you guys know him, like
our listeners do. Yeah, talk to the listeners.
So Hunter S. Thompson, he wanted to be like a journalist, explore things, tell the truth about things, the deep underbelly of the world. But he didn't. But anyways, we're just training, and like it wasn't a super stressful day at work, and I forget what. Like he just started bawling. Like what was the context? And then he gave me like kind of a speech like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And like it kind of had a huge impact on me. I was already feeling just training so many people, because you talk like so often. I'm someone, I hate trainers that they'll just like, all right, do your set. 3, 4, and after they do their set, they're just quiet. I'm like, that's fucking whack. Anyways, that was my moment, dude. That was my moment.
I want to go too. I'll go my aha moment, but I want to go back to your thing about having some. You talked about like a morality class or something, and I've thought about this a lot. I don't plan on having kids. It's not in my mind right now.
Not be a shit cunt.
But I have thought about it. So I consider myself.
How do you not know you don't have kids out there already?
I know. So I'm a spiritual guy. I don't consider myself religious, but I was raised very strict Catholic, similar to Dano here. I taught Sunday school when I was in high school. I confirmed I did all of that. Yeah.
Mike was a good boy. If you
so
know what I'm saying.
So I was, and so then, but when I think about it, whether it's my friends' kids or me myself, if I were to have kids, I was like, how do you teach them those things? Because although I now don't believe everything the Catholic Church preaches, it did, I think, made me a good human. And that's what Sunday school is. It is a morality class. But especially nowadays, religion, I feel, has gone out of favor. Obviously, there are many religious people in America, but it's gone out of favor in the popular eye in America. So less kids and families are doing that. Yeah. But it was a thing. One, you did it as a family.
The moral fabric of society.
Yeah, it kind of like you did it as a family together on Sunday, every Sunday, when you have a routine, whatever it is. You know, for my family,
there's been the breakdown of the nuclear family.
Yeah, it really though.
I have the same viewpoint as Mike now. As like.
I might send my kid to Sunday school even though I don't want him to be Catholic.
Is what I'm saying, the same exact situation as Mike. Like,
and you're talking to Barbara about
Catholic, it. Yeah, was in Catholic school my whole life. Raised Catholic. Went to church. My mom, however, was not. She's a she doesn't really believe in anything. Yeah. She just kind of is whatever. I don't know.
Maybe agnostic. She's not atheist. She
but like as I grow up, I like the mentality that my dad has. Is like the Catholic Church is so I don't want to bash the Catholic Church. I am Catholic. However, it's so like misconstrued now, and it's so like. All the stuff that you hear, and the money and the you got to build a fucking
the opulence like a $20 million church.
You have to build a $20 million church for what?
The Catholic people are Catholic, and then the Catholic Church is more the government. It's the same as America, right?
Like,
we love America, but we don't love everything America does.
Like my dad says, it's the same mentality of like the education is like just because you go to church every Sunday, what makes you a good person? You could be a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
And just because you go to Sunday, you go to fucking church on Sunday makes you a better person. I like his mentality, which is really cool. Is he says, "My mind is my temple." What makes you? Why do you have to go to a physical structure to praise God?
You do what you want.
If you believe in God, whatever you believe in, you can talk to that person in your mind. Forgive in your mind.
Do good, be good.
Exactly.
That never made sense to me. The whole like opulence associated with religion, or let's say in particular with Christianity, because Jesus literally went inside the church, turned out the moneylenders.
Like that's the story that I tell all the fucking time.
Dan, I'm in. I know I'm in, bro.
That's the story that I tell all the time.
My mom's like the most pious person I know.
He flips the tape. So in the temple,
he's for the people. He's he's of the people and for the people.
In the Bible, it says that he went into the temple, was pissed off because they were selling shit.
We're getting into it, Dan. I feel
this
you.
This is deep.
No,
this is getting serious.
No, I feel it, bro. I absolutely. I think our aim and direction in life, maybe I'm not talking just here in the West, but maybe in general, can be a little misguided just because we focus on a few different things. So we want to just have enough to eat, a place to sleep, all those things. So we focus too much maybe on the monetary side of things or a few other things rather than maybe what makes us passionate or how can we combine those things to earn a living and also have fun and then also be a good person, like all these different things. So
it's hard because they say Americans work 10 times the hours of certain Europeans and
go to Japan, bro. Japan, like they call them the salary man. Go on.
Oh, I don't know.
Ooh, they work. No, they work way more than it. They're really passing out on the street, like dying.
Yeah, see,
I'm like, that's not healthy.
No, that's not either. And I don't know if America is either.
15-hour days.
Because even in Europe and in South America, where some of my family is,
siesta.
Certain things between like 11 and 1.
They do.
Yeah, 11 and 1, everything's just closed, and then things don't even really open up until 9 or 10. And then
in Greece, they take the whole day off.
Yeah, really.
The unemployment. I'm just joking. I have a lot of Greek friends.
Yeah, Italy. When I was there, they had a siesta hour. Literally between 12 and 1.
Yeah.
Everything closes. You take a nap.
Yeah, America. I don't know the numbers because I've never had like a state job or a real job, but they get 3 vacation weeks a year. Like Europe, they get like 6 or 8 or something. Like people are generally happier. They have to work less, but they get the same amount done. They're more productive because it is a revolving circle, right? The more you work, the more you're stressed, and then the less productive your work gets, and then the more stressed you are because you're trying to catch up on your work, and it is a vicious circle. So it's a way bigger systematic thing than we could solve with the 3 meatheads at this table. But
I was just saying that's why I made the quick joke when I said about Greece because they're having an unemployment economic crisis. But like
talk about economic crisis. There's the dopest Airbnb you can rent like on the cliffs of like Mykonos for like $50, $50 a night, and it looks like it's in a fucking rap video. Like it's fucking.
I grew up in Toronto, like around Greek town, so like a lot of Greek friends. But like I joked when I said take the day off, but they do have something right there for real. Like obviously, I'm not talking about their economic crisis, but the idea like they go back, like all my friends, they have like a home, they have they see their like cousins, their nephews, nieces, and all of them, like everyone's just kind of like chilling, like they work whatever, but they haven't established like a house, they have that that network of support, and so kind of when you talk about maybe in Spain or other places, Italy, where they work less, but their work-life balance is a lot better, and they're a lot happier. I'm like, that's the way to go.
That's something I started to learn a lot about, and it was in my head from my aha moments in college and things. But we'll get into it. It's not that exciting of a moment, but like our friend Barkwan is someone that always talks about
Barden,
that. He always talks about workflow. He always talks about work-life balance, and that's someone that's
he shuts shit off. Like he works basically. He'll get up at like 7, work like 9 to 5, like basically 9 to 5, and then he's done. Like he basically is done.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and same thing. He's like, like December's done. Like I work so much the rest of the year. Like he tends to take December's off because they film so much and they get ahead of time, or Sundays are
he knows how to manage fatigue basically. Well, 100%.
It is just like training.
Probably culture based too.
Maybe. I don't know because he had a weird upbringing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. But he's just such a peculiar guy, and I
think he's figured out what works for him, which is the most important.
I think so too, in his family and his system and his companies. And he's only a little bit older than us, which is interesting that he's gotten so much done.
Yeah.
My aha moment's boring, but like I said, we couldn't get classes. And so it's raining. It's like
set the mood. So it's raining. It's dark.
It's probably like
what song's playing in your
head, probably
bro?
November 2010. No joke. I can get into it. So I probably had the Cheers Obi Trice album on.
Okay.
Sick.
Yeah. So it's like Dr. Dre, Eminem, Obi Trice. 2010. It's raining. I'm in my 2003 VW GTI 6-speed. No big deal. And so the school, I was going to a junior college and talk about like prestigious. It's supposed to be top 10 junior college. All right, man. Bullshit. I couldn't even get this class I wanted. So you sign up online, and I'm like, so there's 25 or 35, 40 people in the class, and I'm like 20th on the waiting list. But I can't like move on with anything I want to do in life. I plan to transfer to a 4-year and try out for basketball again.
Yeah, it's like gridlock, this moment for you in time.
So I'm in the best basketball shape of my life. I'm coaching high school basketball. I'm training people. I'm training myself. Probably some of the most productive years of my life. I'm working out like 6 hours a day, basketball and lifting combined. Going to school in the morning. Still having time for Call of Duty. That was my main Call of Duty time. In between.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, in between.
Call of Duty Activision.
Parasympathetic recovery, sure.
Yeah, crushing it. And so I'm driving around in the rain, just trying to find a parking spot to try to get to my class to then probably be rejected anyways that I'm on a wait list for.
Yeah.
And I drove through the parking lot through the entire hour and a half class without finding a spot to park.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, Dad, this system doesn't want me. I don't want this system.
Yeah. You don't want me. You're dumping me. I'm dumping you.
Yeah. And I literally went home and just like, I'm never doing that again.
I love it. You have the fuck it moment. So I drove the Huckleberry Finn. I call it the Huckleberry Finn. Another guy like David Lee Roth, and it's one of my favorite. I love. You guys read autobiographies at all? Or
all the time.
All the time. What's your favorite one?
Yikes.
So David Lee Roth, his is. I love it. I think he's a super interesting personality, but he had kind of that moment about just people in general. He made like a boat, like to sail down like the river or whatever. And what happened? He took it out to his friends. He was in the middle of the like recess that was going like, "Hey guys, I got this boat. Let's sail it." And what happened? He tripped and he fell, and the sailboat like went out of his hand. And everyone, including his friends, laughed at him. Oh. And he said after that, he said, "Fuck it, I'm on my own." Like you have that fuck it moment. So I get that.
I mean, I played. I played 3.5 years of football, so I quit. I ended up quitting football.
Oh, you did? Okay, because I was trying to add up where you said you got injured.
Yeah, so I quit because I also had a fuck it moment because I was working so hard. Came back from a career-ending injury. I never missed a practice. Never missed we were at our facility from like 6 in the morning.
College sports are done
until 6 p.m. at night. You were there all day.
Team meeting.
People don't realize if you haven't part of it, like how like grueling it is.
It's arguably harder than pro sports because then you have your 16 unit or 12 units you have to take on top of it. So it's like class, fucking job, class, team meeting, stretch out, maybe a lunch break, class, team practice, weights. The class film, again, probably. Watch film for Sunday.
Film for 2 hours. Like, dude, like you were there.
Go back
all
home
day.
And cry yourself to sleep.
So I had a fuck it moment because I was working so hard. Like, was not, and there were kids that were, pieces of shit that were, failing drug tests and not making it into class and not doing this and not doing that and, still playing and stuff like that. And I had a really, really tough relationship with my head coach.
That's the worst. Because
he had all control over everything, where like your position coach is telling you you're starting today, you're going to start. And then, you suit up and then you get, you're on the field and you're wondering, wait a sec, why am I not in the game? Until the end of the game, you're like, wait a sec, I didn't even play today.
Yeah.
And then I asked my position coach, he's like, oh, well, coach, I won't say his name, but head coach.
Coach Barbara.
Yeah, Coach Barbara. Coach Barbara didn't want you in the game, something like that. So it's like, my coach was very much, when he had an attitude of you, there was no changing it. It doesn't matter what it was. You could have been the hardest working motherfucker on the team. If he didn't like you, that was it.
Yeah, I think it's a hard thing for guys like me and you, or one, we are pretty sensitive guys, but two, growing up in the sports system, and one, we were a little bit bigger fish in a small pond growing up in our smaller schools and being the best at what we do. But on top of that, I love sports, and they taught me so many things about teamwork, communication, and all this other stuff. But something sports teaches you typically that doesn't translate to life or even going into the next level is that you work hard, you do the right things, you're the best, you work harder, outwork, hustle, all these things. If you do everything correct, that you get the outcome that you deserve, whether it's MVP
There's
at a
some
camp,
sort of payment reward.
Not only a reward system, but this work leads to this goal, and you get there. Right. It's not like, oh, I did my chores, give me a cookie, mom, because I think that's the pussification of our nation.
Sure.
But what I think it is these things line up. I shoot 100 jump shots every day. My jumper gets better. That's truth. That's just truth.
It's a predictable outcome based upon what you do.
Right. And so same thing. Like I didn't miss a practice. I didn't miss a training session. I didn't miss a film session. I got the B average coach wants me to get. I'm at all our study halls. All these things.
Everything.
I'm crushing the guys on the line next to me. Put me in the fucking game. But then college, high school can happen too. But college, real world, there's always another power that can just literally just not like you, just not like you,
literally not like you.
Yeah, and I've had similar things in work, business, work relationships. My college basketball career was very similar. And these things are really, really crush, I think, sensitive guys. Omar's a little bit more like our homie Bart, where he's a little more stoic. He's a little more in control of his feelings.
I'm also just an asshole.
He actually is the devil. And Dan and I are big old babies. And neither's right or wrong or better or worse. But we just deal with things differently. And so for Dan and I know even still to this day, things will happen like that where it's a business relationship, but I am loyal as well. And I'll treat somebody so well. I'm like, oh, I'm going to set this person up with this, this, and this. And then they minorly stab you in the back and you're like, fuck, this world sucks. Fuck.
It's kind of like that optimist that you have.
A little bit.
Things. That's what I want to talk about stoicism. I do think it is very practical a way of living where you can't let anything affect you. You can internalize it, or even Bruce Lee. That's why I guess the question that I like to ask people if they know about Bruce Lee or like Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's like, who do you find more inspirational or who motivated you? For me, it's definitely Bruce Lee. I respect Arnold a ton. Like no doubt about like the guy, come on, like immigrant, made a name for himself, bodybuilding champion,
the
movie
real
star,
estate,
then governor, like 100%. But like kind of the philosophy of Bruce Lee, where he talks about letting something pass through you, like a thought,
like water.
And
so I'm a huge fan of all that stuff too, and I've read.
It's just like hard to like apply.
I think a lot of it is just, whether you call it genetics or nurture, or how you're raised, or who you are, or even just who you are. I think you can't change it as much as you want. Like I would love to be a hard ass in business and just say fuck everyone that's fucked me. But still to this day, I answer emails, calls, and texts from people who have screwed me in the past and try to help them.
So I'm the same way. Like
you know what I mean? And some of that's just who you are. I think
I'm the same way. Like I'm very much like Mike. Like no matter what, even if I want to say quote unquote it's business, I've had a lot of people fuck me over in the past. But like I'm the type of person that like I'll get mad at you and say I hate you, but then I'll be the first person to talk to you. I'm just a very like.
That's why you have a warm personality. That's why you have a 10 out of 10 girlfriend. Okay, like it's not all bad, bro.
But yeah, it's just like how I was raised, how my parents are, how my my very loyal parents. I've been together for 30 years.
Yeah.
Like
That's beautiful.
They fucking. It was just how I was raised, and I'm a sensitive cat, and it's gotten me into some annoyances over the years and stuff like that. But at the same time, I've taken a lot of mental
abuse.
I wouldn't say abuse, but just abuse. Mental hardships.
Roller coaster.
A lot of my life has been a roller coaster. Whether it was I mean, for God's sakes, I was supposed to die at birth. Like I was born with spinal meningitis and pneumonia. You know,
I didn't know that, Dan.
I had
big rig.
Big rig.
Big rig.
I've had a lot of hardships on myself, and you know, not like where I was raised. I'm very thankful for that, and you know, a lot of people have it a ton worse. But you know, I always try to look at the softer, kind of bigger picture. You know, like where some people are very much like hard ass and. You know, just kind of like that's that type of person, and I don't know. I've never been that way. I always try to look at the bigger things, and I'm a thinker. I will think the shit out of it. You know, some people are like, oh, you're thinking
way overanalyze.
You know how some people I overanalyze the fuck out of everything, and that's just how I am. And you know, it's got, you know, sometimes it's been bad and sometimes it's been good, but I think. You know, at the end of the day, I've always been kind of that person that people are like, oh man, remember that guy? Or like, you know, like
create a favorable impression. And also, I think so. Like, it is. There are two sides, and part of me, I think you should always try and leave like a good impression. Like, even if like something went sour, you try and leave on amicable terms. Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with that completely. I do find it hard, but you know, having interacting with people like where sometimes things go south, like a business interaction, this and that. I have learned over time to be more mature and like also trying, as you said, if someone like texts you, let's say like you had a business deal and like it just went south and like maybe they were the one at fault, but then you gotta like respond back with this or that. Like, it kills me on the inside.
Yes. I get destroyed. I dealt with something like that recently. I'm the manager at both of my jobs. Yeah. And one of my employees was you know not doing the way I wanted him to be and not doing what I wanted him to do, and we got into something and it was his fault, but at the end of the day, me as a person, like, you know, he kind of had the, you know, fuck you attitude, you know, whatever, but I swallowed my, you know, the pride and everything like that, and you know, it was just like, you know, I apologize as a manager, and
just to clear it,
because I don't like bad blood between anybody. Like, dude, I'll never forget when me and Mike got into it, dude. Like, we, you know, brothers, you know, they get into it.
Brothers get into it the most.
And I'll never forget, we were lifting. Mike was lifting.
I killed him.
And he
killed him.
I've never seen someone.
It was a rough time in my life.
It was a rough time. Mike just unleashed everything on me.
Satan.
You would have been
like yelled at you.
Oh, bad, really bad. Yeah, really bad. Yeah, really bad.
Get the fuck out of here! Like. Because I was fucking around behind him, which I shouldn't have. And,
it was a rough time in my life. I had a lot of stress, and then my back was hurting. And then he didn't even do something that bad, but it was just over and over. He was having a conversation behind my back when I was squatting.
You're trying to lift heavy.
Yeah. And I was just in pain, and I was under insane amount of stress and transition in my life.
He unleashed hell.
Yeah, I did. I went off. Everyone in the gym's eyes just dropped. Because I've yelled at people.
We've never seen Mike yell like that.
Well, I never like yell like kind of caringly or on the edge of joking where people know I'm serious, but I'm not like yelling at him. I actually yelled at Dan.
Yeah. I was very sad.
Oh, Dan! I'm glad everything worked out in the end for that.
It all worked out.
Serious story.
It all worked out.
I was gonna say, Dan, to make it a little bit lighter right now. We have a mutual love. No, don't worry. You're like, what are you gonna talk about? I want to talk about Trailer Park Boys because that's my fucking jam. I'm sorry, Mike. I don't mean to isolate you. I don't mean to isolate you. It'll be a minute, not even.
It's almost like a this. I've only seen 2 episodes.
If you haven't seen Trailer Park Boys, you need to.
No, you don't. Don't waste your goddamn time.
Treasure.
But it's basically like a real life South Park. I feel like just a bunch of idiots doing dumb shit. Right? Am I right? It's kind of like that.
Let's get 2 birds stoned at once.
But it's not even like
Corey Trevor smokes.
Yeah, let's
go. But it's not even like as witty or as like political or as like underlying as South Park. That was my issue. There was nothing.
So in my opinion, absolutely, is because it actually promotes friendship, family, and the bond.
You're just smart, and you make these people smart. They're not that smart. No, you're giving them too much credit.
So no, you know what it is? Have you guys? I told you so. I fucking told you so.
No one knows anything you're talking about.
No, they will. No, there's way more Trailer Park Boys fans than you think. Yeah, and that's why I bonded with Dan. We're just like trading lines all the time. I was gonna say that. So I like in comedy satire. So something like This Is Spinal Tap, where what happens in This Is Spinal Tap, like it is a faux so it's a faux documentary.
This one goes to 11.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a documentary, but it's all comedy. Yeah, it's Trailer Park Boys is the same way. You could give more biting commentary, like more humor that way. There's more levels, I think, to the comedy where like I like also the idea. I don't like black and white characters. Everyone in Trailer Park Boys is great. They're gray or greasy, you could say. We're
greasy.
Like Ricky's trying to be a good father. He's also a deadbeat, like low life criminal, like trying.
Isn't
to do
everybody
things.
in the thing
deadbeat?
Yeah.
deadbeat
Pretty
piece of
much.
shit.
Everyone except Barb, who owns a trailer park.
Get out of the park.
Yeah, come on. The assistant trailer park supervisor.
What if it was American?
What? No,
they are in America. There's their new seasons.
Same guys. Those characters moved here.
So I do think there is something about being Canadian and seeing it where you do understand. Like you've seen people like that before. You understand. I think I have more like sympathy and like empathy for some of those things.
Yeah.
There's another one called Fubar. Which is a kind of like Trailer Park Boys. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
It's really funny. But if it was American and I could get into it, absolutely. It's like
I didn't know if it was like
The Office.
British Office. I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't like the British Office. I like the regular Office.
Okay, yeah. Well, I thought it was a little too cynical. Obviously, the British, because it's like when he's saying shit and he's going in on people, like you're just a dick. Like so yeah. The U.S. Office was a lot more light.
I love The Office. Yeah. I didn't think it was funny at first, but the camera work in it is the funniest thing in the world. It creates such an awkward like tension between you and the like. And the show itself, it's absolutely hilarious.
It was probably the first show to capture. I don't want to make a conclusive statement.
Just say it.
But kind of like that Office vibe of working in a corporate culture, like where there is that culture.
Yeah.
Like
there's a real truth to it, and that's why people relate.
Yeah, 100%. But Dan, for you, Trailer Park Boys, what got you into it? Because that's like, like how do you find it?
A couple of my buddies on the football team that were always like fucking super high and watching the show all the time. Like, they were like, dude, it's so funny. Just watch it. And I'm like, all right. So I was at home like one day, just alone, probably in my underwear, drinking.
Thanks for the visual image.
Probably have an old bowl of like Captain Crunch underneath my couch.
Was it at that frat house place where the So I say bless Dan. I'll never forget it. I was in a tight bind and I needed to stay at a place. I just was staying an extra day in Sacramento and he allowed me to stay at his place. I'll never forget that, bro.
22-year-old Dan.
But I remember, you're like great kid.
This weirdo surf clan who was like an internet sensation that I had no idea. Probably would have came into my room and touched me in the middle of the night.
Probably did.
And maybe would have enjoyed
Probably
it.
Did. No wonder my anus felt a little loose.
Roofied your coffee today.
You went to shit the next day and everything just flowed.
Yeah.
I just remember that blown out bathroom. It was fun. It looked like an atomic bomb. It's not your bath. No, I'm not calling Dan out.
Who was it? Was it me?
No, dude, I'm not calling you out.
There was 4 or 5 guys with
the house.
If
you've never lived in a frat house or hung out in a frat house.
It's not actually a frat house.
It wasn't actually a frat house.
It's just the same vibe.
Let's say college life. It definitely had that vibe. Just like it's a bunch of single guys living together. It's like, you're not gonna like clean the kitchen or like the toilet. It wasn't like it was disgusting, but I just remember like
going in
there. Someone blew out their
probably
ass.
Someone took a fat shit.
It was just like a atomic bomb dropping.
That's so bad.
Dan's like, I deny all of it.
You guys are
so anyways, that was where you were watching Trailer Park Boys.
I remember watching it and I was like, dude, this is the dumbest show I've ever seen in my life.
And you love it.
Didn't think it was funny at all. Watched the next episode. Started to be a little bit funny. Then I watched the next episode and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing
I find there's very few TV shows. I could say like, I like it and I think it's funny, but very few TV shows actually make me laugh. Like out loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right?
No, it's hard, especially like if you have a laugh track, it's done. Like I can't laugh at that.
But I'm saying even a funny one though.
It's
like something I like. Funny? Something I like. Like I like
comedians.
Comedians sometimes will get me going. But like a Tosh.0 or something. I like that show, and I think he's funny, and I think the show's funny. But if I'm sitting there watching it, I never actually laugh.
No, I'm always the guy kind of sad. Like I went to a comedy show that like
I'll say it's hilarious, but I won't laugh out loud. People are like, "Oh, you're not laughing." Like I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I do like stand-up comedy, especially live. Will make me actually laugh out loud. Something about the communal, tribal, human nature of it.
It's just like movies. Why do you think?
That's true.
Movies tribal. Well, tribal pacification.
Tribes.
But you should read. There's a Seth Godin book called Tribes.
I know about it. I've never watched it.
Seth Rogen's Canadian too.
Who's Seth Rogen? Wrestler?
Oh, what?
What? Seth Rogen. From Pineapple Express.
He was in Pineapple Express.
Yeah, that's the Tribes I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I've never read it, but I know about it.
Yeah, so Seth Godin is a smart guy, marketing guy. But what were you saying about shows, laughing?
I don't actually laugh unless I'm in communal with my tribe.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Movies, that's why people
go to the movie.
like ticket sales are going down. I'm like, sure they are, and like studios are flipping out. At the same time, that communal experience. Why do you think like live concert? Like I think ticket sales for live concerts. Don't quote me, but I think they're same
up or the same. Yeah, I agree.
Like they're not suffering. It's CD or music sales.
Yeah.
Well, like for movies, you go and watch like what are the great ones? Like a comedy. Like do you want to watch a comedy in a movie theater, empty or full? You know. So it's like one of those things.
Industries are changing, because of things we were talking about where you can't get out of college and just get a job like these other jobs because they don't exist anymore. There's companies like Amazon and Google and things where the actual manpower is less and expertise maybe a little bit higher. There's actual industries that are dying off. That are insanely valuable or have been around for a very long time.
So you're not talking about like a Blockbuster where like...
Well, even that, like that had been around probably for 40, 50 years. And it was, for our generation, iconic, right? Like Friday night, you're 8 years old. Where did your parents take you? You go rent a movie. You go rent a movie or a video game.
So I think, and that's why sometimes people, and I think there might be places like, it may have been Korea or Japan where there is a thing like a dissociation with either society or people with spending too much time in general on the internet, not having that tactile, tangible, so you're not out there experiencing it. So if you Netflix, awesome, we all have it, we love it. But I do remember, and I totally get what you're saying. You go to Blockbuster, you smell that popcorn, you pick up the DVD or like the VHS,
or you don't because somebody rented it already, and then you're so sad. Like I came for Ghostbusters 5, and someone already took it.
So self-discovery and a unique experience rather than it being automated. Like, I actually fucking hate when it comes to Spotify or Pandora, any of those places was like suggested music for you. I'm like, no, I'll listen, I'll try and explore, but they're trying to narrow down everything you want to choose. So the same idea, like Netflix, like recommended for you. I rarely actually from the recommended pick that one. I remember like, Blockbuster, you go, it's like, you know what? I like that. One of my favorite movies, Big Trouble in Little China. I put like the cover, I'm like, oh, that looks like a
fucking movie.
Oh, dude.
Good movie. I've seen it.
Mike, what's going on with you? Why don't you know?
I'm a big film guy.
I'm right there with you, bro.
I do have a weird thing where I can watch.
Name it. I'm in.
I can't watch movies that look too old to me. I don't know. It's just an OCD thing.
I don't get that. Some people say that.
Yeah, it's just a thing. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, why don't you listen? Why don't you listen to rap? Well, you just don't get it. It's just the same thing. It's personal.
I'm starting to because I think you got to keep an open mind, honestly.
Yeah.
My brother got that album, Tupacalypse, Tupac's first album. Like, they're just like working because he's working through the 80s. Like he kind of goes sequentially.
I've done it all. My sister was really into
silent movies, bro. I watched Nosferatu. It's like that.
I've never watched a silent movie.
It's
I can't do silent. I've done lots of black and white. There was a summer when I was a kid, and also Hancock Hitchcock.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Where my sister and my mom were big fans.
Great.
So from junior high and high school.
My favorite topic.
I've seen all of them. It's not like I just haven't seen them. I just can't get into it.
I'm a big.
Talk to me.
I'm a big fan of. No, I'm big into like Robert De Niro. And,
come on.
Christopher Walken.
Give us a Christopher Walken. Give us a Christopher Walken on the way out here.
Hold on, Dan. Wait. Before we end, Dan, have you watched obviously Deer Hunter?
Yeah.
Probably the most.
I can't quote a line from it, but
probably the ending. We won't reveal it. It's probably one of the most emotional endings I've watched in the movie.
Deer Hunter's got what? It's got Christopher Walken, Robert De Niro,
and then it has who plays Fredo in Godfather Part 2. No. It has they plays Fredo.
I know who you're talking about.
The brother, and then there's also I think his name's like something Savage. Yeah, there's a few characters. There's a few people in it.
Yeah,
but they anchor it.
Christopher Walken. Have you ever seen Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Dirt.
Joe Dirt. You know when he's like, you're talking to my guy all wrong. You do it again, I'm gonna stab me in the face with a soldering iron. That's one of my favorites.
I actually think that's a good.
Wow. Well, Walken's one of your best. What you got? What's another one on the way out here, buddy?
I love when De Niro and Meet the Parents, where he's like, "You gonna milk these?" Oh no, what's he say? He goes,
half your De Niro's visual though.
It's more visual. De Niro's more like visual.
Yeah, you can do it.
He's like, "I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Huh? Walker? Huh?
Yeah, Greg
does that.
Yeah.
Huh, Greg? Huh?
I don't think that's bad.
You got a Stallone.
Stallone is where he's like. I can't even get
it caught. That's what because we root for you.
Hey, Adrian. Hey, that's the way we talk over here. Hey, how you doing?
Huh? Me, hey.
Yeah, it's like I love when he always says. That's why I never liked Rocky.
I love when he's doing the commercial, and I think it's like Rocky 2.
Yeah.
And he's like, when I squirt on the cologne,
it
so
makes
me smell manly. Rock, read the dummy cards, Rock. It says smell manly. Who brought this guy? He's like, hey, I may be a boxer, but I ain't dumb. You're dumb.
That's 100% what he says.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind them at all. Just like when people I found it inspiring, I'm like, so same director did Karate Kid. Karate Kid, all he needed, the kid was like a rough, troubled youth. I could relate. All he needed was a wise mentor to show him the ways. Rocky had he got Adrian, he had the coach, Mick, all that stuff.
Mick.
And he's like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And she's like, come on, Rocky, you could do it. I'm like, if you don't believe in yourself at this point, bro, I'm gonna give up on you. Like if I was coaching you, I'm like, oh, like I've tried like 6 or 7 times. Yeah.
That's actually what I do like about Rocky's that he lost just as much as he won.
Yeah,
like that's true. So like just
but
counter.
Sometimes you gotta lose to win. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, but in real life,
I love Rocky. Best of all time.
No, when it's on TV, I want like Clubber Lang. I'll watch it. Like
I must have seen that series probably well over like 200 times. I'm not even joking.
It's great.
It's my idol.
I gotta say this. I still feel like 1 through 4, awesome. 5, I haven't watched in like a decade. But I remember even as a kid, like so as a kid you could be impressionable.
Hey, yo, Tommy Gunn, huh? Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, just the whole stuff.
Creed was pretty decent for bringing Creed. For 20 years later.
Dude, I loved Creed. It was unreal.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't kill off the
dad.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler
alert.
You
mean no from Rocky
Sorry,
4.
spoiler.
You mean from Rocky 4.
You didn't hear that.
If you haven't seen Rocky 4 at this point, it's like, bro, you've had 30
If you haven't seen Rocky 4, just don't listen to this part.
Thanks for telling them after.
Listen to this one, and then you can get out of here.
Yeah, listen to this one. After this, don't listen anymore.
Dano, since we don't know where your career and your life's heading, where can people find you? Shout yourself out just in case
Somewhere
you need
on the
it.
streets of
Just in case you need
Sacramento.
I think I've lost well over like 1,000 followers from
not
that
enough
lifting.
squats.
Not enough squats anymore.
Just hit it anyways.
You can find me.
Give the Silent Mike shout out where he has it like by row. If I asked him right now,
you can find me. Yeah. Even that's what Omar does. Yeah. Omar's like, you can find me at. You can find me on Instagram at StormCloud415. That's storm as in like a storm.
A cloud.
Like cloud. StormCloud415
we get it.
on Instagram and Twitters. That's kind of about it, man. If you want to DM me, slide through the DMs.
Don't, because he has a dedicated girlfriend and he's deeply in love.
No. You slide through the DMs. Any
job opportunities?
Job opportunity.
Guys that want to hang out.
Looking for a job currently. So
good opportunities.
These two guys are awesome. Thank you guys for having me on.
No, Dan, I put it this way. Like I thought we all got along. That's why we hung out. On the first the trips that were down here.
Yeah. Mike's been a big mentor to me.
He told me this off camera too. I'm like,
Mike's been a very big part of my life since I started. Training after football, I was just lost. Like I didn't really know what to do, and little old Mike came and gave this fat guy a helping hand.
All right.
We'll find you a job next.
Yeah. Find me a job.
Out.
Hey, you sons of bitches! Leave us a comment and a review.
Kind gentlemen and ladies.
Share this with your friends, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Later.